Day to day.
Okay.
We're all day to day, right?
That's right.
Yeah. You've mentioned to us before that sitting up there is not one of your favorite things. It's not a real pleasant thing, and I certainly understand that. What is the reasoning or purpose behind keeping Johnny from visiting with the media to this point?
Well, there's a lot of it's it's not just my decision on what goes on with that, and so we have talked about it. I feel like right now is not the time. Will there be a time coming up? Sure, there will be. I think you look back at the events of Saturday, in a volatile situation, the way that game ended. I don't think that's the time for he or DeShazer or anybody. That's been past history. So will there be time for him to talk? You bet. I think he's done a lot of media, obviously, December, January, going to the SEC Media Days and the biggest media, I won't say circus, but the biggest media deal there is. There was wondering what he's going to talk then. He did. I think it's important now, based on where he is, that his focus to try to be our quarterback and a student athlete. That's his biggest challenge right now. Not his challenge to be here. That's me. Like I've said before, this is college football. It's not pro football. So, that will be coming. But certainly right now, I don't think that we don't think that it's the right time.
Okay, to the far right, and then we'll go to the very back.
Hi, Coach. Matt Jokel was out here earlier, and he said that he does things a little bit differently than Johnny. Maybe he's not as flashy. Can you describe the energy that both your quarterbacks kind of bring, and is it a different team when Johnny's on the field?
I don't know that it's a different team. I think all the quarterbacks are different, and that's why you never hear me guys ask me all the time. What about to compare quarterbacks for Case Keenum or Drew Brees or Sam Bradford? I don't compare quarterbacks. They're all different. They all lead differently. They all play differently. Are they successful? Yes. But some guys are 5'11", some guys are 6'5". So personalities, like everybody in this room, is different. I think Matt is an example of a guy who has waited his turn, who has just kind of toiled away, and really the week before really earned the right to start ahead of Kenny. And I set both those guys down as late as it was Friday at 5 o'clock. And even in my mind, I knew what was going on. But I wanted them to keep competing that whole time. And I brought both he and Kenny in, explained the process for who was going to start the game tomorrow, explained the process of moving forward for the rest of the year, that they're going to be their best competition and the thing that's going to keep them on edge, because they're one play away from playing. And it's kind of interesting, when I told him that, and told both of them that at the same time, that doesn't mean that Kenny Hill's not going to play. That means that the plan was for them both to play in the first half. Matt just got in rhythm and did well, and I think he earned the right to keep playing. What's interesting is, after I told both of them that, Kenny, we're getting up, walking the door, and you got a freshman turn around, so that guy's fist and said, "You got a ball, man. You got a ball." So, all those guys in that room are together, and that's what a team's about. The energy that you talked about. You don't see that. I think anybody who watches Johnny knows that he plays with a lot of emotion and a lot of passion in this game. And because of that, he gets into a gray area. It's my job, it's our job as coaches to keep that passion and energy going, but make it positive. Does that make sense? And that was a discussion that we had yesterday, not just with him, but with a lot of players. And what you don't want to do is kill that emotion and that passion, because I think it's what separates Johnny from a lot of different players. But what we can do is sit down and say, hey, listen, that same emotion, that same passion can be used positively, and here's how you've got to do that. That makes sense?
I know you weren't happy about Johnny's penalty right at the end of the game, but were you what were your thoughts on how he's been pretty much vilified in the media for those things he did on the field?
It's kind of amazing to me, because dad called me and said, "Have you seen all this stuff that's going on Saturday night?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Just turn the television on." And he came off the field, you know, basically I made two statements to him, neither one of which should he have responded to. They weren't questions, they were direct statements that I can't repeat right now. And so what's amazing to me is the perception that he ignored me. The worst thing that could have happened was for him to reply based on what I told him. So for people to say, "Hey, you know what, he's not listening to his coach," and there's no discipline on this team, you know, they're not around this football team, they're not around this program, and a lot of people who have made statements about that weren't anywhere near that sideline. I haven't heard one guy or person who was on the sideline who heard what was said speak up about what happened. So, you know, you can get different perspectives sitting in a studio or behind your television than you would have gotten live. So, you know, that's where we are with that. You know, we met yesterday as a team, which we do every Monday, and the three things that we talk about, that I talk about from the beginning of this program, are playing hard, playing smart, and being physical. And those are three things that I quantify every Saturday. We talk about the first one, playing hard, and evaluate players every Saturday on their effort. Some guys Saturday played great with a lot of effort. Might not have done everything right, but they're playing great effort. Other guys didn't, and they have to raise their level. Playing smart, that was addressed yesterday. And championship teams and great teams play smart. Penalties like that, which I think my exact words Saturday night were, "That wasn't very smart," or "They shot home." But, you know, I look back at that, we had 5 penalties for the whole football game. So, you know, an undisciplined team doesn't have only 5 penalties. You know, it's the couple of things that brought out not very smart football. Got 2 guys ejected. I wouldn't have challenged DeShazer's hit if I didn't think it was a good hit. So, you know, I think you have to put everything in perspective. You know, what's going on, where is this football team, and where can we get better? And we can definitely be a smarter football team. But, you know, the number of penalties I think is positive. If you're, you know, at 3 or 4 penalties a game, you live with that. You get up 8, 9, 10, 11, you know, then you got some other issues. But we're playing football. We're not playing badminton out here. So there's going to be some aggressiveness. There's going to be things that happen. But, you know, in the grand scheme of things, that's where we are. And being physical, and all 3 of those areas are areas we evaluate every Monday. And the discussion that we had yesterday, both in here and on the field, I think our players understand that, and there's not much confusion on what goes on here in this program.
Your quarterback's taken a pretty good beating from national media, maybe one 4-letter network in particular. At some point, do you address that, or?
Yeah, I think I did. I think what has separated him on the field, you know, he was antsy. I said that right Saturday night, that he was pressing, he was antsy, he wanted to play. And, you know, the thing that makes him who he is his passion and emotion. And he plays the game and is trying to do something every play to score, whether it's him, whether it's his teammates, whatever it is. And I think that's why his teammates enjoy playing with him. As a matter of fact, I know. And is it a challenge at times? You bet it's a challenge. But, you know, at a certain point, you know, it's our challenge to try to keep that energy positive. And a lot of things are being made out of some things that went on last year. I had somebody come to me and ask me about some money signal or whatever, you know, and same thing he did all last year. doing that. But when he does it, you know, there's an issue. Let's tie it to something else. Has he kind of painted himself in a box with that, with some other issues? Probably. But at a certain point, you know, his actions on the field are going to have to show where he is. And I think no one wants to be more successful than he does. No one's going to play this game harder than he does. No one's going to practice harder with these guys than he does, and his teammates understand that. I understand that. And, you know, to answer your question earlier, why isn't he out here talking? I don't think right now that him coming here and saying the word is going to change some people's opinion about who he is. So, you know, that's my job as a coach. And, you know, as I said before, this is college football, it's not pro football. You know, so you know, it's my job as a coach to prepare him. My job as a coach to keep his energy positive, try to channel that energy and that emotion and make it positive. And you know, at the appropriate time, he'll be able to speak. Like I said, I'm shocked that not shocked in the word. I shouldn't be shocked by anything anymore. Yeah. But people got to talk about something. Yeah. And of all the things that there is to talk about in this program, of all the things that you want to make an issue about, that is probably the last thing that needs to be talked about. Because, as I said, I just told you what happened. Now I didn't think twice about it.
Yeah, what I was going to switch to was, do you have to? It's so much scrutiny brought on him. Is that something that has surprised you guys or your locker room as this year is starting to unfold? Have you had to address that more than expected or more recent?
No. I think that I think where we are is where we are, and obviously after last Saturday, people want to make a story out of anything that happens on this team right now. And in a way, right now for me as a coach, I'm not going to complain about it because it's kind of putting a wall up between us and everybody.